Hi guys, Tango Oscar Mike. I thought I was out here. While I was out here, I thought I'd make another video on my first aid kit. Somebody did ask me for more information on my first aid kit. I was an EMT for 8 years. Of course, that was quite a long time ago. But that training I got as an EMT has really paid off. I highly recommend, out of anything you could learn, first aid is probably one of the biggest things you could learn that you could make a difference in somebody's life. I can say that I've actually saved a life using my first aid training more than once, even when I was no longer an EMT. So it's going to be very beneficial. One of my dogs got injured here on the property one time, had a huge laceration. I was able to stop the bleeding. We were able to get her to a medical clinic. So that training works on any animal, basically. The basic EMT training is about patching the holes, stopping the bleeding, and getting you to somebody, a doctor who's somebody who can really take care of whatever's going on. So this is a kit for my backpack. It's actually a small kit, but we'll go through the components here, try to make it so you can see everything here. So in the bottom section, I have 2 sets of gloves, nothing special there. A little Ziploc baggie stuffed back here. There's a bunch of different bandages. There's some steri strips, which are basically sticky sutures, and Benadryl. I have had allergic reactions before. I'm allergic to bees. There's an Epipen in this kit too. I haven't had to use the Epipen. I actually used the Epipen once in my life. That was about 3 or 4 years ago. I haven't had to use one again since then, but I still have to carry one. So in the top section, let's take a look here. Top section, Epipen mask. This mask is not for medical purposes as far as treating somebody. This is for my allergies. If I'm somewhere and I have allergic reactions to mold. So if I was in an environment where I needed a mask, I have one. Tourniquet. This is the rat's tourniquet. I carry this tourniquet because it works on adults and children. The normal cat tourniquet the one for an adult is very difficult to use on a child. So this works on adults and children. Makes it easy. Carry one tourniquet. To me, this is a simpler tourniquet to use if you know how to use it. It's easier to use if you know how to use it. You can use it one-handed as well. But good tourniquet. Space blanket. The reason I carry a space blanket is not just for emergency shelters and that kind of stuff. Story is, I had a friend who was out mountain biking and he fell off his bike. It didn't get unclipped out of his pedals fast enough and fell. And the way he fell, he just happened to land on a rock and broke his femur. Now, he was with a bunch of other people, but they were afraid to move him. They called medical, and it took several hours to get him out of the woods. During that time, he was laying on the ground. And it was a warm day, but because he was laying on the ground, it was sucking all the warmth out of his body. And he actually thought he was going hypothermic. So they were piling their backpacks and stuff on top of him, trying to keep him warm. I think actually somebody even laid down and spooned him to try to warm him up. So a space blanket, for as small and as light they are, it could really come in handy in those situations. You don't realize how cold the ground is, even on a warm day, until you've been laying on it for several hours. This is an Israeli compression bandage. You can't put a tourniquet on everywhere, so this is a good bandage to have. You can put this on somebody's head, chest, wherever you need to. Good to have. And along with that, here's some Celox Granules. I actually prefer the Celox gauze, but this is what I had, so this is what's in the pack. These do expire, I think. Probably should check and see what the expiration date is. Can't see it, but I should double check this. But that's all that's in this kit. Like I said, this is a small kit in my backpack. I actually have a much larger kit that I keep in my truck, and we have even a larger kit at home. The one in my truck has chest seals and a bunch of other stuff, more clotting agents, tourniquets, medical shears, all that kind of stuff. I was actually at the shooting range one time, and a gentleman next to me shot himself in the hand. Luckily, it was just a .22, and it just went through one of his fingers, missing all the bone, believe it or not. But you can be very safe, but you never know what the person next to you is going to do. and accidents happened, especially with camping when people are using knives and saws to make a fire or prepare food. It's very easy for somebody to cut themselves, and having a little bit of first aid can come in very handy. Well, that's all I have for now. This is Tango Oscar Mike. If you like this content, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. This is Tango Oscar Mike, 73. Take care.
Tango Oscar Mike,